Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. You guys excited for this video? Reading hate comments? Well, it may be a little bit different than what you're thinking. So, you know with me, there's always a surprise. There's always a little catch to it all. So, let me give you a little background history to what had happened. What had happened was, I think not. I haven't said that in a video for a long time because, you know, I used to be the Janis Joplin. I'm still the Janis Joplin of YouTube, okay? But anyway, what had happened was today somebody tweeted me and they said, Shay, from that girl Shay, she talked about you in her vlog. And so I went and I watched it and I was like, she's like doing her makeup. The video is called Chit Chat, an Everyday Grungy Glam Makeup Tutorial. And so I'm like watching it and all of a sudden she's talking about my vlog. And what's interesting is that several like YouTubers like her and like Samantha and like some other people, like when they watch my content, dude with the camera, when they watch my videos, they watch my vlogs, right? And she says on there, she's like, I mean, I like his drama, it's funny, but I don't know that she even says that. But she's like, I really like his vlogs and I wish he would do more of that on his main channel because he has so much to offer the world. Do I? I don't know. But anyway, so I was thinking about that because I was like, I get that comment a lot, but as soon as I switch it up on this channel, Angela, as soon as I switch it up on this channel, people are like, he's changing his brand, he's changing it. Do I have a brand? Is there a brand? Is my name in the back of my shirt? I mean, do I have a brand? So people are like, he's changing his brand, unsubscribe, don't watch his videos. And then they're like, you've changed. And that's like, then I have to make a video on myself. Because basically, I make videos on people that are bigger YouTubers, and I say, you've changed. So I'd have to make a video on myself called Peter Monn Exposed, and I've already made that video, so then I'm fucked, right? So anyway, it's all just so foolish. So, what had happened was this, okay? So I saw her thing, and I was thinking about it on the heels of what had happened. Well, I woke up this morning, and Simply Kenna had made a comment on my video that I made about her yesterday. Now, I've made like 3 Simply Kenna videos. And she left a very nice comment. And she was like, I got a good chuckle off this, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much. She explained the monetization thing. And she was like totally down, totally cool with it. And I was like, this is so awesome that we can get along. There's no animosity. I said my piece. I said I really liked your apology. You came back, you commented on it. Why do we have, why can't people just get along? Like, it's really that easy. And when we talk about issues like world peace, like people are always like, world peace could never happen because of the MFers that are standing in the way to be nice to the person standing next to them, okay? It all starts with us. If we're kind to the person on the other side, if we're kind to the next person we come in contact with, if we smile at them, if we say something nice to them, if we give them a compliment, if we give them a hug, the day's gonna go a little bit better. The world's gonna be a happier place. And I've preached that from the beginning of my videos, okay? If I poke fun at somebody, I always try to find redeeming qualities about them, always. So anyway, I was thinking about all this because I had yesterday, now listen, I am not that YouTuber that goes and checks out my analytics and all this kind of stuff. I'm not that person. I don't go into my channel and go, oh, well, this video is doing better than others. So when people come to me and they say, you're just making this video so that you get a lot of views and you're just using this person's why would I not want views on a video? Okay, first of all, that's an ignorant statement, okay? What YouTuber says, please don't watch my videos? Please don't, okay? So if I throw up a video with some clickbaity title, and I do often, okay? But everything that I talk about in my videos is always the truth. It's always in there, baby. Don't come for me, okay? So if I say, Jeffree Star's fake relationship, you better bet your ass we're gonna be talking about, is Jeffree Star's relationship fake or not, okay? I don't do what all these other people do where I put stuff in there and then I talk about it for 30 seconds. No, I don't do that, okay? That's bullshit. So anyway, I don't go into my analytics and look and try to figure out, oh, well, this video got so much more and who's my, I don't have no time for that. I don't have my glasses on, I can't do math. I can't figure out half that shit anyway, okay? It's just way too confusing for me. I need to hire an assistant and I'm just broke, so I don't have the kind of money to hire an assistant. So anyway, I'm looking at all this stuff, and then somehow I was uploading a video. Somehow I got into like my community stuff, and I was looking at all the comments on my video. And you know what's interesting is that if you don't have a YouTube, like if you have YouTube but you don't have a channel or you don't upload videos, the way that you get comments are 3 different ways. You get the regular comments, held for review, and then spam. And typically, 99% of the time, the spam comments are things like somebody like linking, you should go try my Fit Tea or my 90-day fitness plan or something like that, right? The held for review, a lot of times, I don't even know why they're in there. And so people will be like, well, I put a comment on your video, but it's not there. And I read through these things, and literally, you guys, I just looked. I have like 100 comments held for review. I mean, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to make it through. And so and a lot of times I'll read them and I'm like, why is this held? Like, I don't understand why they held this one back. There's no sense. And you can block certain words that you don't want used on your comments in your comment section. And so any like derogatory word I have blocked, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Because we don't need to hear those words again, okay? We don't need to hear them in YouNow streams. We don't need to hear them in comment sections of videos. If you get creative with your spelling, sure, you're going to get around that, okay? But when people come in YouNow streams, I don't care how you spell a word or how you say it. If it even sounds remotely like it, whatever the word is, whatever derogatory word is, we do not need to repeat that word. When I tell you, okay, that for the last 40 years, I have been called derogatory names related to my sexuality, 20 come to your head, I'm sure. I don't need to tell you what those words are. We don't need to repeat them to educate others, okay? That is becoming part of the problem. And I have a huge, huge issue with YouTubers and people with a platform that repeat those words at the expense of education, okay? You're ignorant and you are helping educate people by saying it's okay to use that word even at a time to educate. It is not okay to use that word, ever. So we don't need to use those words, okay? My mother taught me, when you come into my home, you come into my home with positivity and kindness. If you're going to use those words, you can just walk right on out. And I can tell you before, I have seen this in my mother's house. When she was having dinner parties or Halloween parties or whatever, something would slip and she'd say, you need to leave. And they'd say, what? She'd go, you need to leave. I love you, but no, you're not using that language in my house. So I was raised that way, okay? I was also raised that when you walk down the street, you hold your head up high because you refuse to be a victim of their oppression when they call you a name. When somebody calls you a name, you refuse to become a victim of their oppression. See, that's about them, not about you. When somebody says something to you, when somebody calls you a name, that's about them, not you. And I learned that even more interestingly yesterday. So what happened was, I was looking through these comments, and I noticed that there were some comments that I hadn't seen on my Simply Kenna Rant video. So I just happened to march right on over that video, and I was like, oh my God, like, people really hate me. Like, there are some true Peter Monn haters out there. And so I'm reading through these comments, and people are like, oh my God, your voice is so annoying. Why do you sound like a 16-year-old girl? I can't stand, why do you talk like that? Why do you talk like that? Your voice gives my ears cancer. And, old man this, and oh, you're 80 and you're 65 and all this kind of stuff, which is so interesting to me because I do talk a lot about a lot of younger people and younger generation, but I never comment on their age. Now, I may say to them, like Tana Mojo, you need to, for your age, be a good role model to people younger than you in your age, but I never call them out for their age. So to reverse that is interesting because if we ever, as older generation, looked down on somebody for their age, they call that out in a heartbeat, right? But the tables are turned and that's fair game. So anyway, I'm reading these comments and it's all about my age and it's all about my sexuality. Now, that's a given, okay? If you watch any gay YouTuber do the reading hate comments and they read the words, I don't think it's necessary. I know why they do to, I don't know, make the video more. That's not the lesson of my video, okay? I could sit on here and I could read you every nasty comment that I've gotten, and there are thousands, okay? And I am not gonna sit there and do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm gonna say something that none of these YouTubers say. I am not the YouTuber that can sit here and tell you that I can read those comments and they do not affect me, okay? They affect me. They affect my soul. And when you hear the same words over and 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 over like a repeating record in your head, At some point, okay, they affect you. So to watch YouTubers get on video and say, ha 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 ha, like these mean comments, they don't mean anything to me. They just come up. That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit, okay? And I can say at 45 years old, I am very confident. I know who I am, and I can still hear those words, and sometimes they hurt me. But I learned a very valuable lesson yesterday, and I think that we need to talk about that first. The reason why I think we need to talk about that is for younger people out there that are walking through the halls of high school, and they're hearing those words, and they're watching these videos, and what they're hearing is, don't let those words affect you. Words don't mean anything. Bullshit. Words hold a lot of weight. Words hold a lot of power. If we didn't care about words, we wouldn't use them to hurt other people. So when that person, like myself, is walking down the halls of the high school, and you hear the same thing in elementary school, and you hear the same thing in junior high school, and you hear the same thing in when you're high school, and it's before you know it, and then you know it. Because see, I was a first grader that was sitting in a cafeteria, and all of the boys were drinking homogeneous milk, and they said, don't drink the milk, because if you do, you will become a homo just like Peter. And in first grade, everything changed for me. And in junior high, when they would call me those names, and I didn't really understand what it meant, but I was starting to understand, and I thought, well, maybe that is me. They owned my truth. And when I was in high school, and I knew that's who I was, but I wasn't comfortable in coming out yet, they owned my truth with the words that they called me. So don't tell me that words that people leave in a comment section underneath a video do not affect people. But what's interesting to me and what I learned yesterday is this, is that when I was looking at the combination of the comments that I got on my video, they were always talking about my voice, which I can't change. I don't know why I sound like this. I don't know if it was because I was raised by a single mother. I don't know if it was because I looked up to my older cousin Caroline and idolized her. We sound a lot alike. I don't know if it's because all of my role models were women. I have no idea. But at this point, I wouldn't change my voice even if I could. I love my voice. It makes me who I am. It makes me different, and it defines my character. Number two, they talk about my sexuality. And I think that's just a given for any gay YouTuber out there, anybody gay with a platform. And number three, they talk about my age. I can't change my age, and baby, I wouldn't even if I could try. You know, I thought a lot about this, about going back and would I want to be 20 again? You know, in your 20s, you don't give a shit, but you think you know everything, okay? And you don't. And in your 30s, you realize I don't know anything and time is slowing down. And in your 40s, you realize that time is really fast, life is really short, and you better have as much fun as you can. And I'm having the time of my fucking life, and I wouldn't trade it in for anything. I love being on YouTube, and I love interacting with people. And if I had to get to this point and be this old to finally figure that out, I am totally okay with that. But the one thing that I realized out of all of this was that all of these people that had negative things to say about me, they were coming from my voice, they were coming from my sexuality, and they were coming from my age. Three things that I can't change. They weren't coming from my character. They weren't coming out for my content that I was putting out. They weren't saying, you're not funny. They weren't saying, you know, you have no point of view. They weren't saying anything. I get a few of those comments. I'm not going to say I don't. But the majority of them were coming for things I couldn't change. And when you come for someone, for something they can't change, what you are saying is, I can't find anything else to criticize you about. I can't criticize your character. I can't criticize your being. And quite frankly, from afar, I kind of like you, but I'm going to put you in your place anyway. So I'm going to pick out these things that I don't like about you. And what that says is, you don't like yourself. Because those qualities we see in other people that we don't like are typically qualities we see in ourselves that we don't like. Other people are mirrors to ourselves. So when you're leaving a nasty comment on my video, what you're basically saying is, this is how I think about myself. I don't think very highly of who I am. I don't think very highly of myself. And it's easier for me to criticize and put down others and be mean to other people behind a profile picture, on a comment section on YouTube, behind a computer, in the safety of my own home, because I'm so terrified of being part of the world. Instead of maybe interacting with somebody else and saying, I like you. I like your content. I wish you'd change this a little bit. Maybe I should watch a couple more of your videos. Maybe I'll fall in love with your voice. Today, people tell me they go to sleep to my voice because it's so soothing. And I'm like, what? To get compliments on my voice, to get compliments on the one thing that I had was my biggest insecurity for 35 years, to get compliments on that. So when you're sitting there and you're getting ready to leave a nasty comment, I beg you to think about really why you need to leave that comment. What are you feeling in your heart? What are you feeling in your soul? What is that saying about who you are? What are your fears? You know, what are you putting out there into the world? Are you putting positivity or are you putting negativity? How would you feel if your sister got that comment? How would you feel if your girlfriend or boyfriend got that comment? How would you feel if you got that comment? How would you feel if you woke up and there was a note taped to your door that said what you just said to me or to anybody else? How would you feel if you were at a family dinner and somebody looked across at you, your grandma, and she said, "Could you shut up? Your voice gives my ears cancer." Wow. What a Christmas. Think about it that way. I want to read something real quick, okay? There is a book that has taught me everything that I know about the world, and that is Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. I love this book. Y'all know I do. I talk about it all the time. I quote stuff from it constantly. If you watch my BookTube channel, I'm on there all the time talking about it. And at the end of chapter 23, Jim and Scout are sitting around. They're having this conversation about people, the different kinds of people. And I love this, right? And Scout says, "Nah, Jim, I think there's just one kind of folks. Jim turned around and punched his pillow. When he settled back, his face was cloudy. He was going into one of his declines, and I grew weary. His brows came together, his mouth became a thin line. He was silent for a while. That's what I thought too," he said at last, "when I was your age. If there's just one kind of folks, why can't they get along with each other? If they're all alike, why do they go out of their way to despise each other? Scout, I think I'm beginning to understand something. I think I'm beginning to understand why Boo Radley stayed shut up in the house all this time. It's because he wants to stay inside. I don't want to stay inside. I want to be of this world. I want you to be of this world. I want us to all get along. If we have to criticize each other, we can criticize each other with kindness, compassion, and love. We don't have to say it with hatred in our hearts. That is no way to live. It does more harm to you than it does to us. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.